Alright guys, hello, welcome to another video. Today in this video, I'm going to be using my platform to do something different. I'm going to be talking about Traffic Awareness Month. Today is August 1st. I hope everyone is having a great summer. School is right around the corner, and before we get back to the classrooms, I thought it'd be pretty important to use my platform to talk about a serious topic, which is traffic safety and traffic awareness for Traffic Awareness Month, which is August. Um, yeah, so in this video, I'm going to be using the police cruiser, as you guys can see. I'm going to be demonstrating things that you can do to be a bit more safe on the roads and just a bit more, vigilant to other drivers and stuff like that while you're on the road and driving. Uh, so before I start the video, I do want to say that I do have experience driving. I've been driving on the road for about 10 years now. Uh, I've seen a lot of stuff, as you can imagine, for driving for 10 years. Also, I'm going to be reading. I'm sorry. I'm going to be reading you guys some information that I have. Also, I have some information down on my phone that I want to read to you guys, so that you guys can really get this information and really understand how serious and important this topic is. Yeah, but also I do want to mention that I've been driving for 10 years on the road. I'm not a perfect driver. I'm not saying that I am. No one is a perfect driver. But we can all do things to make the roadway safer for you and me, for everyone. Okay. All right. Let's go to get started. So first up, we're going to be oh, one more thing I want to say too is that a lot of us at some point make mistakes on the road, and it's okay. That's why accidents happen. Um, but for the most part, we can do our best to avoid these things. Actually, a lot of accidents are actually preventable. A lot of people don't really know that, but it's true. Very, very true. Uh, yeah. Sometimes also very small mistakes and unfortunately sometimes the mistakes can be very big mistakes that can cause really bad things to happen to you or others around you while you're on the road. Uh, Once again, in this video, I will be discussing a lot of different traffic safety tips that could possibly save your life if you're not already a defensive driver. And we'll talk more about that later on in the video. We will be talking more about the term defensive driver, as I just said, um, a little bit later. Okay, so once again, the point of this video is to just point out the different things that could go wrong while driving. If you're not driving safe on the roadways, and this is also to promote road safety and to try to reduce the traffic-related accidents. Um, okay, yeah, so that's pretty much, once again, the sum of the whole video. I'm going to go ahead and dive in into our first topic, which is like what you should do when you get into the car, like your first thing that you should do before you get on the road. So, okay, so the first thing you should do once you get into your car. Once again, I'm going to be reading a lot of information to you guys, and then also speaking from my experiences on the road as well. So, yeah. The second you get into a car as a driver, you should be adjusting your driver's seat so that you feel comfortable while you're sitting in your seat while you're driving on the road. It's as simple as that. The first thing you should do whenever you're getting into a different car or your car, make sure the seat is comfortable. Make sure you feel comfortable sitting the way you're sitting and positioned in the car. Um, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. So, whether you're driving for hours or minutes, you should always do that because that is very important. Always adjust your driver's seat first. Once again, always adjust it first before adjusting your mirrors. Your mirrors do not go first. Your driver's seat always goes first before adjusting anything else. That has to be as comfortable as possible. The reason is, of course, so you're comfortable and have a great view of the roadway ahead. Okay, so once again, our first topic is going to be adjusting rear view and side view mirrors. So you should be able to see the lane next to your car. So with your side view mirrors, when you're checking it, you should be able to see the next lane over on your left, and in your right mirror, you should be able to see right lane on your right. So let me show you really quick, a good demonstration in the game. So here, right, see that? I can see the parking spot next to me in my left view mirror. And if we look over here, I can see the right parking spot in my right view mirror. Now, of course, in real life, it's going to look a bit more, you can see a bit more than that. So this is just a demonstration of how it should look. Okay, so once again, you should be able to see a small portion of your car side as well. So yeah, you should be seeing the lane, then also a small side of your car as well. So as you guys can see, I can see the side of my car in this left view, and I can also see the side of my car in my right view mirror as well. So bam, we're good. We're looking good so far. My seat is comfortable, it's adjusted, I feel fine, and we have the mirrors here to back it up. Okay, yeah, so the goal for this is that you should be able to see and have a clear view of the traffic in the adjacent lane. Adjacent meaning the lane next to you on both sides. Okay, here we go. So, rear view mirrors. You want the focus of that mirror to have the view of the center of your rear view mirrors. Yeah, so you want that to have the focus of that mirror to have the view of the center of the rear view mirror rear window, without needing to really move your head at all to see directly behind you. So yeah, so the point of your rear view mirror is so you can see your whole back window, and as you guys can see, I can see my whole back window perfectly fine right there. So yeah, this is just so you don't have to look all the way back when you're backing up, or like, you know, to look behind you or anything like that. We have a good view right here. That's a perfect view. That's like perfect. Okay. Okay, here we go. So next one, this provides a clear, unobstructed view of what's behind you, and it minimizes the need of you having to move your head to check mirrors. Pretty much to the point of what I just said. Okay, so now, I'm going to give you guys a list of things that we're going to be talking about throughout this video. Yeah, so to start the list, we're going to start with the right-of-way. So, right-of-way. Pedestrians always have the right-of-way at intersections and crosswalks. Just try to remember that. So, whenever you're approaching a crosswalk or an intersection, pedestrians have the right-of-way. So I'm going to demonstrate that really quick. Let me back out really quick. Okay, so we're going on to the roadway now. Let's go ahead and back out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make a right turn. I'm going to signal. We're going to talk about signaling later in the video. Okay, making a right turn. Okay, let's go this way. Let's make a left. Wait, I'm going to turn my camera off really quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's try to find a quick crosswalk, and I want to give you guys a good example of that. Here we go. Okay, prime example right here. I'm making a left turn, right? I'm trying to make a left turn, but I see a pedestrian crossing in a crosswalk. I'm going to stop. They have the right of way. We have two pedestrians walking. We'll let them cross, and once they're out of view, we can go. So he's still in view. He's still in view. He's out of view now. We can go. We can move. There we go. Just like that. We turn our signal off. And it's pretty much just as simple as that. Yeah, pretty much just as simple as that. Once again, whenever you're approaching a crosswalk, intersection, please let the pedestrians cross. The reason why is because pedestrians are given the right of way because of their lack of protection on the roadways. They don't have as much protection as we do behind inside of our vehicles. So that's why that's a law. So yeah. Yeah, so right of way for pedestrians are going to be, once again, at designated crosswalks or when a pedestrian is using a pedestrian signal. I know sometimes you might have a pedestrian darting out in the middle of your roadway. That's why it's always important to try to slow down. uh, so that you can stop, you know, anything from happening as far as any incidents or accidents. So yeah. Okay, so I do have a message for if you're a pedestrian. So if you're a pedestrian, no matter where you are, once you're about to cross any type of roadway, please make sure that it is clear, and more importantly, if there is a driver approaching, make sure that they can see you so that you can cross safely. Yeah, a lot of times as pedestrians, we might look at the vehicle, we might see it slowing down and think that we're safe to go. That's not always the case, unfortunately. Sometimes the driver might not see you, and you know an accident can possibly happen because you misinterpret what the driver is doing because you look at the vehicle. But you try to look at the driver and the vehicle, but mainly the driver. The driver is going to be the main key. Uh, yeah, but if the vehicle comes to a full complete stop, most likely you're good to go. As far as if you're not crossing at a crosswalk, um, if you're just like crossing the street or whatnot. But yeah, even at crosswalks, still try to follow that rule. There are drivers who try to pass red lights at the last minute. You never really know. You never know. So always make sure the cars are fully stopped, if anything, pedestrians, to make sure that's just safe crossing. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over is following distance. Now, as far as this, I don't have anything written down. This is going to be strictly from me. I'm going to show you guys a good example of following distance. So let me turn my camera off again. Let me go to camera. Just turn it off really quick. Okay, so you guys can still hear my voice. So that's perfect. All right, let me turn on my headlights. Oh, also one more thing too. Your headlights, you don't have to have them on during the day. If you want to have them on, that's fine. But at night or when it starts to get dark, of course have them on. But you don't really have to have it on all day. For the most part, you're just wasting your battery if you have your headlights on all day while it's bright outside. If anything, you should probably just turn them off to save your battery of your car. Okay, so back to following distance. Let's go ahead. I'm going to show you guys a good example of following distance. So the speed limit here is 15 miles per hour, right? These cars are driving at a pretty good speed, which is like the speed limit, which is really good. Okay, so following distance is pretty much if that car in front of me brakes, how much time do I have in order to stop without hitting that car in front of me? So this is a good distance right here. You want to be like this far away. You see that car that just came out like that? That car could have caused an accident. He just went out and he sees that traffic is coming. That's a good way an accident can happen, once again. Okay, so we have pedestrians crossing in front of us, as you guys can see. Okay, so this car in front of us, I think they did stop. That's fine. Okay, but I guess that's pretty much it as far as following distance. As you guys just saw, I was at a pretty good distance. Following distance, once again, is your reaction time pretty much. And reaction time is like, once again, like I said, if the car in front of me stops, do I have enough time to stop without hitting that car? That's going to be your following distance and your reaction time. And they're both pretty much the same thing. You just want to keep a good distance. A lot of times, I notice that drivers follow way too close. Like, they'll follow... Let me try to get in front of this car really quick. Like, they'll drive behind you like this. And the thing about this is you never want to do that because, for one, you're way too close. You shouldn't be this close to anybody on the roadway while you're driving. That's way too close. But the other thing with that is, if a driver is following you that close, right, and they're distracted, let's say if they're on their phone or something like that, if they're also distracted as well, they could easily run into you, rear end you. So you never want a driver to be that close. Also, as a driver, you don't want to ever be that close to another driver. So always keep distance. I should be like this far away. At a stop, at a red light, I should be able to see the bumper of the car in front of me and the tires. That's a good distance. You want to be about that far away from the car in front of you. Yeah, always try to keep your distance. Once again, that is like the easiest way to cause an accident. Following too close and also being distracted. Yeah, you just don't want to do that. Okay, we can move on now to the next thing. Give me a second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, so really quick, I want to talk about lane usage. So, drivers should stay in their assigned lanes. Drivers should only make smooth, safe lane changes when it's necessary to do so. So we can get more into that a bit later. But yeah, when you're changing lanes, you don't ever really want to change lanes unless you absolutely have to change lanes. It's always good to stay in the same lane that you're in. It's safer that way. Everyone is just a lot safer that way. But yeah, if you have to change lanes, then yes, change lanes and just do it in a safe manner. Once again, I'm going to show you guys and demonstrate to you guys what that looks like in just a few minutes. So the next thing I want to talk about is stop signs. So as far as stop signs, I see it all the time. A lot of drivers usually just pass stop signs. They might slow down a little bit, like they might slow down from 30 miles per hour to 10 miles per hour and then just go. Even though you might think that's the right way to do it, it's not. No matter what you truly think, it's not the right way to pass a stop sign. So I'm going to very quickly demonstrate to you guys the proper way to stop at a stop sign. So like, let me signal over. Okay, so we have a stop sign approaching right in front of us, right? Okay, the stop sign right there. I'm slowing down, right? I'm slowing down before the stop sign. I'm slowing down. So I'm going to stop about right here. We're stopping here. So you want to try to stop before the stop sign. A lot of times you can't really even see the cars that are coming through. So what you're going to do is you're going to stop like this for like a quick second. So when you're stopping, you're not just stopping. You're looking at the intersection in front of you. You're scanning the intersection. You're looking at any kind of hazards or anything like that. So as you guys can see, we have a pedestrian walking across the crosswalk. We have another pedestrian over here on this side. So you're scanning. You're scanning. Look, listen, the intersection is always changing. The intersection is the busiest part of the roadways and the highways. I'm sorry, the roadways and the streets, not highways. But yeah, you always want to stop and scan. And one more thing about stop signs really quick before I continue is, I'm saying this because stop signs are ran all the time. If two people are running a stop sign, what do you think is going to happen? Accident. So when you stop, you're playing it safe. It's the best thing to do. Like I said, don't think it won't happen to you because it possibly can. So, sorry about that. So okay, I'm at the stop sign now, right? So now I'm not going to just go because there's a parked car right there. I can't really see. So I'm going to ease my way out. I'm going to signal to turn right. I'm going to ease my way out. I can't see, so I'm going to ease my way out. I'm stopping right here. Now, as we can see here, there are no cars coming, so we're good to go. We can turn. We're good. Bam. That's it. You want to play it safe. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. Never assume anything while you're driving. Never. Okay, so really quick, let me do a U-turn really quick. Let me do this. Okay, so I'm going to show to you guys what I usually see, which is the wrong way for stopping at a stop sign. So someone might approach it like this, slow down for a quick second. Okay, I'm good. And then, no. That's not how stop signs work. If anything, that's more of a yield sign, if anything. No, that's not how stop signs work. Always try to come to a complete stop. Once again, people are passing stop signs all the time. And for your safety, it's just important to try your best to follow follow traffic laws, really. But to keep you and your family safe. If you're out with your family or your friends, we want everyone to be safe. So, yeah. Okay, next up, we're going to be talking about traffic signals. Yep, so let me go ahead and I'm going to drive down to a traffic light intersection really quick. Let me turn my camera back off again. Okay, traffic camera is off. I said traffic camera, my camera's off. Alright, let's go ahead and let's go to a traffic light intersection really quick. Okay, so here we go. Right here. Perfect example. Right about here. All right, we're here. We're at a traffic light intersection. As you guys can see, once again, this is the busiest. Oh, look, someone just passed a red light. But this is the busiest part of the streets and roadways. Uh, Once again, there are cars driving through all the time at intersections. Let this car go through. Yeah. So, once again, as you guys just saw, we had a car that just drove through the red light to try to make it to wherever they're going at. All the time on the roadways, we all see it. There are people who are rushing to get to work, rushing to go to an appointment, rushing to make it to an event. Someone else just passed a red light. My thing is, it's never right to do that because when you're rushing, you can easily make a mistake and cause an accident. Yeah, but intersections are the busiest spots, and honestly, intersections are where a lot of accidents happen at as well. Okay, there we go. Yeah, intersections are one of the busiest areas, and also a lot of accidents happen at intersections too. And the reason why that is because a lot of times people are rushing to get to where they're going. They may pass a red light, and they might not notice the car coming in front of them or a pedestrian crossing in front of them, and an accident just happens. Yeah, a lot of times the light will be red for a while, and someone will just pass it just to try to make it to where they're going at. And also another problem is distracted driving. Someone might be on their cell phone, and they don't realize that the light already turned red like 3 seconds ago, and they're gunning for it because they thought, oh, it's green. No, I mean because they're not paying attention. They didn't realize that the light had already turned red like 3 or 5 seconds ago, and that's another reason why a lot of accidents happen at intersections. Honestly, out of any part of the roadway, the intersection, you should try to be your safest at intersections because they are so dangerous, because we have all kinds of traffic driving in and out of intersections all the time. Yeah, you just want to be as safe as possible on the roadways in general, but when it comes to intersections, it's no joke. It's no joke. We have a lot of accidents that happen at intersections, so yeah, please just try to be mindful of that when we're out on the roadways and when we're rushing to get to work and we woke up late. Honestly, I also just want to say it's probably best for a lot of us to plan ahead, get up earlier, set alarms earlier so we can get up earlier to go to work or make it to an appointment or to make it to an event. So that way we're not rushing to get to where we're trying to get at. That will honestly save a lot of us from getting into accidents, honestly. Yeah. Okay, so let me read what I have here. So we have, okay, so traffic signals. So following the traffic signal and signs is essential, as we all know. Every driver on the road should know the meaning of different signs, such as stop signs, yellow signs, traffic lights, and so on. Yeah, that's true. Every driver should know the meaning of all of those signs and what they mean. I do want to say something really quick about yellow lights. So as far as a yellow light, if you're approaching an intersection and the light is turning yellow, sometimes you might be in a weird spot where you can probably either gun for it and go for it. You can make it, or you might be in a weird spot where you think you should slow down, but you might want to maybe speed up anyway to get past the intersection. As far as that, if that was to happen, just make your best judgment. Just make your best judgment because oh, they passed a red light too. Wow. Yeah, because as far as yellow lights, sometimes it's tricky. You can't really tell if you should go for it or if you should stop. I'm going to say this: 8 times out of 10, for your safety, you should try your best to try to stop. If you have to slam on the brakes pretty hard, then maybe you should go for it. That's going to be my tip as far as that. Once again, if you're approaching a yellow light, if you feel like you have to brake the car really, really hard or vehicle really hard, you should probably try to just, probably try to go for it. If you're that close, I would assume that you're pretty close. If you have to brake hard, but also if you have to step on the gas to speed through the intersection to get through, I would advise to just brake and stop before the traffic light. Yeah, but sometimes it is tricky to tell whether or not it's like you should stop or go. It gets tricky sometimes. Not all the time, but just sometimes, because it might change yellow at like a very weird spot where you're like, So I get it. Okay. Okay, so next up we have passing. So passing other vehicles on the roadway. All right, so I'm going to turn my camera off and I'm going to demonstrate some passing. So let's see. Let me turn my camera off really quick. Let's go to turn off camera. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly where to go for that. Okay, we can make a left here. We can make a left. So I'm turning left. I'm going to signal to my left. Yeah, once again, someone just passed the red light, guys. Please be careful out there on the roadways. Please be careful. Look at that. I mean, this happens all, no, seriously, this happens all the time in real life. Okay, we're gonna make a left turn. We have pedestrians crossing in front of us. We want to stop for the right of way. Okay, she's passing. She's gone. Okay, we can go. Okay, so passing. So the car on my right side, right? I'm going to try to get in front of them, but I'm going to show you guys the proper way to do it. Let these pedestrians get out of the crosswalk faster. Okay, speed limit is 25, so keep that in mind. Alright, so light's green. I'm going. Okay, I'm trying to get in front of them, right? I'm going to signal right. Now, I can't get in front of them because I'm behind them. So, never try to speed up to get in front of the person you're trying to get in front of. If you can't get in front of them, it's easier to probably just get behind them. Like, well, the car already turned, but it's probably easier to get behind them, if anything, and it's probably safer to do that versus trying to race and speed up and cut them off. It's always best to try to get behind them if you can't, or if you're not already in front of that vehicle on your right or left side. Okay, yeah, we can pull over right here. Yeah, so once again, it's important to, as far as if you're changing lanes, if you're behind a car already, always try to just get behind that car. Do not try to speed up to cut the car off, because honestly, when you speed up like that, once again, an accident can happen. I feel like for the most part, if you're speeding up to cut somebody off, you're not really paying attention to what's in front of you. You're more so focused on the car you're trying to cut off. So once again, for your safety, it's very important to always try to get behind the car if you're already behind the car. If you're both in like the same spot kinda, it's probably best to just slow down just a little bit and get behind them. Once again, I do not support speeding. I feel like speeding is wrong and you shouldn't do it if you don't have to. I mean, it's really no reason to really speed, but yeah, always try to get behind the car that you're trying to get behind or in front of. Yeah. Okay, so passing other vehicles should only be done in a safe manner, and in designated areas. Designated area just means where the activity is permitted or required. It should be done with proper signaling and observation. So yeah, once again, you want to signal to let them know that you're trying to get over. If you're in front of somebody in a different lane, you want to signal. Sometimes drivers don't let you over, which I do understand is very frustrating. As far as that, just try to use your best judgment. I would just say slow down a little bit, try to get behind them, just to avoid anything from happening. Yeah, but sometimes you do get drivers who are nice, they'll let you over. But also sometimes drivers can be kind of mean and they won't let you over. For the most part, as a driver, you should always try to let someone over. If you can see them trying to signal to get over, you should always try to let them over if you see them trying to get over. Okay, so next we're going to be talking about turning. So turning maneuvers should be executed slowly and smoothly and safely. So I'm going to show you guys a quick demonstration of a turn, a very good smooth turn. Let me turn off my camera really quick. Okay, camera's off. Okay, so I'm going to show you a very good turn. So from right here, I'm probably about 200 feet away from that turn right there, right? So at about 200 feet, you want to turn on your signal to turn. So I have my right signal on, as you guys can see. It's on. I don't want to hold up traffic, so I'm going to go. So I'm driving. I'm getting into my right lane. I'm slowing down. And I'm turning. There we go. Just like that. There we go. My signal's off now. Perfect. Perfect turn. Perfect turn. Yeah, so whenever we turn, we always want to slow down. I don't always see that when I'm driving. A lot of drivers like to just keep the same speed and turn. It's not safe to do that. It's really not. When you're turning so fast, once again, well, for one, okay, when you're turning, you can't really even see what's in the next roadway that you're turning into. So it's always best to just slow down, so that you can see the intersection that you're about to turn into. Once again, you don't know what you're going to see when you turn, but we always turn pretty fast sometimes. It's always best to slow your turns down on the roadway. So really quick, I'm going to demonstrate what you got to you guys what I usually see. Let me turn off my camera. Okay, so look, what I normally see is this. So I'm driving, and this. Why? No. That's not how we do it. No, that's not how we do it for safe driving. For safe driving, that's not permitted at all. Once again, you cannot see anything on the next roadway. So why am I rushing to turn so fast into the next road? I can't see anything. I can't see, and you know what's crazy? That's how a lot of accidents happen as well. You can't see. You're turning so fast. Look, that turn that we just saw from that truck, that was a perfect turn. They slowed down. They had that signal on. That was perfect. Let me get out that way. That was perfect. Yes, so we want to turn very slow. We want to take our time. Once again, we may be in the rush to get somewhere, but the thing about getting to where you're going at is two questions. The first question is, do you want to make it there? And the second question is, do you want to never make it there and end up at the hospital, you know? Okay, so back to turning, to finish up turning. So for turns, slow down appropriately. Maintain a smooth, controlled movement with both of your hands on the steering wheels. So when you're driving, both hands should always be on the steering wheels also. But we don't do that. We don't do that sometimes, but we should try to remember that. But when you're turning, you should always try to turn like this. Something like that. With both hands, it is a lot smoother when you're turning. I don't know, but some of us have been driving for so long, we kind of get used to what we do. But once again, these are just some things to keep in mind on the roadways. Okay. Oh yeah, last thing for turning is proper signaling and awareness of other traffic should also be done while making this maneuver. And yeah, of course, if you see, you know what, really quick, let me show you guys something really quick. Let me show you guys something. Let me turn off my camera. Okay, so let's say I'm approaching the intersection, right? I'm trying to make a right turn, and there's a red light. Look, I don't just go. No, that's not how you make a right turn at all. At a red light. If you're making a right turn at a red light, let's say the light is red, I'm going to approach the intersection. I'm going to stop, like a stop sign. You're scanning. And also, we have a sign that says no turn on red. If you have that sign, do not turn. Just wait patiently for a green light. And when the light turns green, you can go. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. Sorry about that. Okay. Turn back on my camera now. Yeah, so once again, when you're making a right turn, at a red light, you want to stop like a stop sign and scan the intersection before you make the turn. If you have a sign saying no turn on red, just don't turn. It's as simple as that. Once again, if you see a sign like that, there's a reason why the sign is there. Trust me, there's a reason why. So just try to follow that sign, even if you're rushing to get somewhere. Please, for your safety, always try to remember to stop and wait for the light to change and turn to green. But once again, if you don't have a no turn sign, you're good. Just come to a complete stop. Scan the intersection. Make sure that it's safe to go. Make sure that there are no other cars trying to go through the intersection as well in the opposite direction. I'm sorry. Make sure that there aren't any cars going through the intersection in front of you, because they do have the right of way during that time, not you. So always yield to them when you're trying to make a right turn at a red light. Yeah. Yeah, and one more thing too, if you're making a left turn at a traffic light, for the most part, if you don't have a yellow, if you don't have an arrow saying that you can make a left turn, for the most part, you have to yield to other traffic. So always remember that if you're making a left turn, you do not have the right of way. The cars that are coming through have the right of way. If you have a green arrow or a yellow arrow, then yes, you have the right of way to turn. But if it's a red arrow or if there's no arrow at all, you have to yield to traffic. And if you also have a if you have a red arrow turning left, you shouldn't turn. That's a red light completely. Once again, if you have an arrow that is red for left turning, you should not be turning at all. But yeah, for the most part, you're going to be yielding to traffic on the opposite side coming through if you're making a left turn. So always remember that for left turns. Okay, so next up we're going to be talking about vehicle lighting. So as you guys can see, I have my headlights on. So really quick, I'm going to talk about vehicle lighting. So let's see. Okay, using headlights and tail lights appropriately. So as you guys can see, I have my headlights on. Let's just say that it's dark out. We have the tail lights on as well. You can't really see it because of the brightness, but it's on. Okay, so yeah, so this should be done especially at night. Once again, also in adverse weather conditions. So adverse conditions just means weather conditions that can cause harm or any kind of damage, such as heavy rain, flooding, extreme temperatures like heat waves, high winds, storms, blizzards, ice, fog, and so on. Yeah, especially in foggy weather, you want to have your headlights on so that other drivers can see you on the roadways. Also, when it's foggy and it's hard to see, you should not be driving really fast at all. Once again, you can't really see anything, so it doesn't really make sense to drive really fast. Yeah, so once again, you should not be driving fast at all during foggy conditions. You just want to take your time and you want to slow down. If anything, you're most likely not going to do the speed limit when it's foggy, like super foggy out. But yeah, once again, at night and during certain weather conditions, your headlights should be on. They should pretty much be on during any of those events. But once again, during the day, like bright, like if it's like not cloudy at all, if it's very bright out, you probably don't really need your headlights on once again. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, and of course your lights are crucial for visibility, of course, so you can see. Okay, next up we have safety equipment. So next up, I'm going to give you guys some facts about safety equipment, and just give you guys some data about how serious this is. So I'm gonna wait, let me. Oh, crap. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera like this for now, and I'm gonna talk about safety equipment. All right. So wearing seatbelts. So in 2017, seatbelts saved nearly 15,000 lives. I know 2017 was a while ago. If you think about it, not too long, but kinda, you know. Uh, so seatbelts may reduce the risk of fatal injury by 60%. Uh, Trust me, when you're in the car, always try to wear your seatbelt. Actually, this past July, in Virginia, they just passed a law where everyone in the car has to wear a seatbelt. Originally, I think that only the driver had to wear the seatbelt and the passenger and kids. But now everyone in the car has to be in seatbelts. In Virginia, they just passed that law in July. Uh, but honestly, we all should just follow that. Everyone that's in the car, that's sitting down, should be in seatbelts. It's very important. It's honestly, it's for your safety, if anything. So always try to remember that when you're entering a car, whether you're catching a Lyft, a Uber, a ride from a friend. Always try to remember those things when you're entering a car. It's for your safety, if anything. Once again, it's very important. Yeah. Okay, so seatbelts. Seatbelts keep you inside the vehicle during a crash by stopping you from being ejected from the car. And that's why I'm saying that it's very important because if you do get into a crazy accident, let's say if you're going at a high speed and you crash, yeah, you'll pretty much, you should be okay. If it's nothing crazy, you should be okay. As far as being ejected, I mean, those are usually the worst kind of accidents when you get ejected from your car. You can go anywhere after that happens, but usually those are more fatal. So yeah, that's why it's pretty important to wear your seatbelt, guys. Okay, and once again, as I kind of just said, being ejected from your car during a car crash is almost always deadly, and seatbelts help prevent this from happening to you. Um, that's pretty much what I just said. Yeah, just always try to keep your seatbelts on, guys. Okay, so next under safety equipment is ensuring proper child restraints. So, using the right type of car seat for your child or the child in the car. Remember to always use rear-facing car seats until the child reaches the maximum height and weight limit detailed by the car seat manufacturer. Um, Rear-facing seats distribute the force of the crash more evenly across the child's head and back. It minimizes the risk of serious injuries. Last thing for safety equipment is going to be maintaining vehicle safety equipment, such as working lights or tires are essential. As far as me, for example, I don't have a spare tire, but it's always good to have stuff like that in your car. It's very important in case a tire blows out or something like that. And also working lights. I think that's pretty much for like when it's dark out at night and you can't really see. You might have to do something to your car on the roadside. You might need an extra light. So it's good to have a working light as well in your car for safety reasons. Another thing that's not on my list, I would recommend getting a portable air, for your tire. That's also a good accessory to have for your car. I have one for my car. It's very, very convenient and helpful in case you ever need it. Okay, next up we have distractions. Okay, so always try your best to avoid distractions when behind the wheel of any vehicle that you're driving. Cell phone of cell phone use of any kind, eating or drinking, chatting with passengers, grooming, reading, using the navigation system GPS, watching the video, fiddling with the car controls, reaching for an object in the vehicle while you're driving. Rubbernecking, a good example of rubbernecking is going to be looking at an accident or anything outside the vehicle that gets your attention away from focusing on the traffic that is ahead of you. Once again, we all do this all the time. It's always important to try not to do these things. Let's keep reading. Sorry, guys. Okay, so all of these are necessary to avoid because all of these activities take away your attention from the road in front of you in some way. That's why that is why it's important. Once again, I know we all do this stuff all the time, whether it's cell phone use, GPS while we're driving. We should not be doing these things because once again, our attention span from the roadway is being taken away, and once again, something can easily happen to cause an accident. So just keep that in mind on the roadways. Um, Once again, I had this written down too. I know that a lot of us do some of these things while we're driving very often, and we're used to it, and we feel like it'll never happen to me. Or, oh, that happened to that driver. There's no way that will become me. And as far as that, all I want to say about that is, I don't know. That's this old saying that goes, when you least expect it, that's when something will happen. Never have the mindset of, oh, that would never happen to me ever. You know, you never want to carry that in life for one. But when you're driving and you see an accident, you know, never think, huh, that can't happen to me. That's a crazy mindset to have if you're behind the wheel. Anything that happens to anybody else on the roadway can happen to you. So do not have the mindset of, I'll be fine. I can do this, I can do that, and get away with it. Trust me, it'll only last for a quick second. It might feel like you can do it forever, but trust me, at some point your luck is going to run out. You have to take these things very seriously, man. Seriously. When you're driving is very dangerous. But when we do dangerous things like speeding and stuff like that, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You know, we have accidents all the time because of these things. Between speeding and distracted driving, they both kind of go hand in hand in my book. So, okay. So next up, as far as distracted driving, I have a statistic. So we have in 2022, more than 3,300 fatalities and 290,000 injuries were reported in the U.S. related to distracted driving. Leading cause of distracted driving is cell phones. Not a huge surprise. Not a huge surprise, honestly. I see cell phone use behind the wheel when I'm driving all the time from other motorists on the road. Guys, it's important that we're not touching our cell phones when we're on the roadways, because I feel like with your cell phone you can easily get distracted, especially if you're texting or on social media. You might see a good video while you're driving, and I mean easily you can make an accident happen. Yeah, so please keep that in mind, guys. Please keep that in mind. Okay, so next up we have defensive driving. Okay, so defensive driving, I want to break down what the definition of defensive driving means, or being a defensive driver means. So a defensive driver, it pretty much just means practicing safe driving habits, lowering accident risks. Even when other motorists are driving poorly around you, you're being constantly aware of your surroundings while on the road, and anticipating potential hazards as well. Always being aware of your surroundings when driving, anticipating potential hazards on the road. I just said that actually, and reacting appropriately is a major key aspect of safe driving. Yeah, yeah. If you are a defensive driver, man, honestly, pat on the back to you, man, because I don't know, like sometimes it is hard being a defensive driver. I'm a defensive driver. It's hard. It's hard to do it sometimes when you see people driving crazy around the road all the time. Sometimes you might think like, well, if they can drive bad, why can't I do it? And I'm going to give you a quick answer to that question. The reason why you shouldn't be a crazy driver is because, once again, if you become a crazy driver, then we just have more crazy drivers on the road. You know, that's pretty much what the answer to that is. Always practice defensive driving. It's a very important thing to have on the roadways. And once again, if you see people driving crazy, honestly, it's best to try to stay away from those kind of drivers. You don't want anyone like that driving near your vehicle, honestly, especially if you care about your car. Yeah. Okay, next up we have yielding to emergency response vehicles. Here we go. Okay, so before I even talk about this, I'm going to demonstrate it really quick in the game. I'm going to turn my camera off. Turn my camera off really quick. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the proper way to yield from emergency vehicles. Let's see. I know I'm speeding. I know. Do not do this, guys. Do not do this. All right, so I'm going to make a. I can't make a right. Okay, let's go this way. Okay, so I have a car in front of me, right? The car in front of me is making a right turn. They're at a red light. But let's say if I'm a emergency vehicle approaching that car, and I turn on my lights and my sirens, I want to show you the proper way to pull over. As you guys can see, they pulled over, they turned their hazards on. That is the appropriate way to yield to emergency cars. Yeah, that was perfect. So when you see or hear an emergency vehicle with the lights on and the siren activated as well, both the siren and the sound. If you see both and hear, well, if you see it and you hear the sound of it as well, yeah, just try to pull over. The best thing to do, honestly, is to pull over like that car just did. As far as the hazards, you don't have to turn them on, but if you feel comfortable doing that, you can. But that was a very great demonstration of that. Okay, let me read the next thing for yielding to emergency response vehicles. Okay, so emergency response vehicles always have the right of way. Always remember that they have the right of way, no matter what, no matter where you are. Give them the space to get through. When you see or hear an emergency response vehicle approaching, it's very important that you know how to yield appropriately. The situation depends. You may need to pull over to the side of the road, or sometimes you may even have to stop your vehicle completely. If you're in a really congested area, such as a busy city street, you might have to slowly inch your way. Sorry, you might have to slowly inch your way over to make room for EMS vehicles. EMS, of course, just stands for Emergency Medical Services. If you're on a highway, you should try to get into your right lane as soon as possible, and always remember to use your blinkers to signal your intentions to other drivers. Yeah, once again, if I'm driving and I see these lights and I hear this, I should automatically be getting out the way to give them space to get through because they are taking care of some very important business. So always try to remember that on the roadway, guys. Okay, so we kind of already went over signaling. I'm gonna read what I have down for signaling on my notepad. So okay, so signaling while driving is a critical way to communicate and let other motorists know your intentions on the road. When done correctly, it can help to prevent accidents and make driving a more efficient experience for everyone involved. Okay, so here are some tips for proper signaling. Use a signal when you are changing lanes, turning, or exiting a freeway. Make sure you signal in enough time for other drivers to react accordingly. Do not assume that other drivers know what you're going to do. Always use a signal to communicate your intentions clearly. Yeah, guys, if you're trying to get over and if you're not signaling, do not be mad at the other driver. You have to communicate that with the other driver. It is always important to communicate that with other people on the roadway. So please try to remember that. Always try to signal to get over. Do not try to cut someone off, and do not try to get over without signaling, without communicating that to the other drivers. I do want to say something really quick. If you do feel like you are being followed or something, and if it's late night and you don't feel safe, always try to pull over so that the car can go around you. If you feel like you're being followed or stalked, the best option I would say or suggest is just drive to your closest police precinct, and just walk up to a cop and talk to him and tell them like, hey, I think someone's following me. It's probably a really good way to take care of that situation. If you feel like you're being followed, I think that's a good way, a good rule to follow. Okay, so next up we have bad weather. We kind of already went over bad weather, but I'm gonna read what I have here once again. Um, when driving in adverse weather conditions, uh, it is important to take extra precautions and ensure the safety of you and other drivers on the road. Be sure to increase your following distance. Okay, I didn't go over that, as it takes longer to stop on slick roads. Drive slowly and use your lights so you can be more visible. Yeah, so whenever it's raining, if it's rain, snow, hail, anything like that, and if it's foggy, you want to always increase your following distance. That just means that if there's a car in front of you, you want to be pretty far away. because once again, if that car slams on that brakes, with it being wet on the roadways, it'll be almost impossible for you to stop as you normally would when it's ideal conditions, meaning when it's normal conditions on the roadways and the weather. So yeah, so just remember that on the roadways, just try to remember to keep your distance in ideal conditions and to keep more distance away from the car in front of you when it's raining is very important, especially on sleek roadways. Depending on what kind of road you're driving on, some roadways are more slipperier than others. But overall, you want to keep your distance from all kind of motorists during bad weather. So yeah. Okay, next up we have. Okay, so really quick, I want to go over 20 different road signs. I'm not sure if this is every road sign, but this is pretty much uh most of them, I guess. So the first one we have stop sign, we have yield sign, we have the speed limit sign, we have the no parking sign, no U-turn sign, pedestrian crossing sign, school crossing sign, one-way traffic sign, no left turn sign, no right turn sign, two-way traffic ahead sign, railway crossing sign, fallen rock sign, roundabout ahead sign, roadwork sign, wild animal sign, slippery road sign, which is what we just talked about, narrow bridge sign, curves ahead sign, and the do not enter sign. Uh, if you're a driver on the road and you do not know how all 20 of these signs I just read look and the meaning of all 20, then you should not be on the roadways at all. Seriously, I'm saying this because it's truthfully for your safety and the safety of other motorists on the road. A good example of that is what if you have no idea what the curves ahead sign means and you don't slow down on that curve? You could crash and seriously hurt yourself or other people. Um, being a driver on the road, it is always important that from time to time we all refresh our minds and things such as road signs because as time goes on, we tend to forget things, and that's okay. We just relearn what we may have forgotten. What's not okay is being negligent on the fact that you don't remember something on the roads and you decide to never do anything about it. That's when you become just another problem on the road, along with other hundreds of problems on the road with you. Uh, then accidents happen, of course, after that. So yeah, so please remember that on the roadways. Yeah, yeah, please remember that on the roadways. Uh, okay, really quick, I want to go over a few more things, and then after I go over these last three things, sorry, four things, we're going to talk about speeding, and we're going to get into that because I haven't talked about speeding yet. So yeah. Okay, so really quick, I want to talk um about roundabouts. Okay, so roundabouts. So whenever you're approaching a roundabout, I don't think they have I don't think they have a roundabout in this game. So I'm just going to talk about it. So a roundabout is, the big circle that you see when you're driving. When you approach a roundabout, uh, a roundabout you're going counterclockwise. So you're going this way, not clockwise. You're going this way. So you're going to be going to your right and going around. So the first thing that you're doing is you're slowing down because you're approaching the intersection, as we already talked about. So you're slowing down and you're just looking around to make sure that it's clear to go. Sometimes roundabouts can be tricky because they can be super busy. Uh, I do understand that sometimes accidents happen, especially during like busy times at roundabouts. Yeah, roundabouts, in my opinion, are a bit more trickier. There is no traffic light, especially when it's busy. You can easily make a mistake. I do understand it, but when you're approaching, you should be slowing down. If it's busy, you're most likely going to come to a stop, and you're going to try to find the right time to go in. So once again, if you're already in the circle, you should not be stopping. One time I was driving, I had a driver. No, sorry. One time I was driving and I was approaching a roundabout, and I had a driver inside the roundabout. They stopped in the middle of the roundabout and told me to come on in. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not how a roundabout works. If you're already inside the roundabout, you have the right of way. Like it should be no problems. So if you're already in the roundabout, just keep going. Sometimes you might get cut off because maybe someone is trying to rush through and rush in front of you. That's why it's always important to be vigilant and aware and during any intersection, but roundabouts are very a bit more serious. Um, yeah, so if you're already in the roundabout, you have the right of way. Um, do not stop if you're inside the roundabout, because if you stop, you're messing up the flow of traffic in the roundabout. Everyone in the circle is already going, so just keep going, just keep going. The car that you're trying to let in, they will find their way eventually inside the roundabout. So please don't stop. Do not stop inside of a roundabout. And oh, really quick too, I want to say something about stop signs. Yeah, when I drive, I always try to stop at stop signs. One time a while ago, I had a driver. So okay, it was a street. It was like four stop signs back to back, and I was stopping, and every time I stopped, they kept beeping that horn at every stop sign when I stopped. I mean, I didn't change anything. I kept stopping, but eventually they drove off and made a left turn somewhere else. But my thing is, once again, we talked about it earlier, but stop signs are important, and it is important to stop, whether the person behind you is in a rush or not. Please try to come to a complete stop, and don't just stop and go. You want to really look at the intersection to see what is going on at the intersection. Okay, so really quick, we already discussed yellow lights, so we can skip that. We already kind of discussed intersections as well. We can skip that as too. Let's skip that too. Okay. Yeah, and one last thing I want to say before we get to speed limit is letting your foot off of the gas sometimes. Um, you don't necessarily have to always brake to slow down. So yeah, so sometimes when you're driving, you don't have to brake if you're moving too fast. You can just like let go of the gas sometimes. A lot of times when we're driving, we I don't know, we're driving and our foot just stays on the gas the whole time from point A to point B. Um, we have to learn how to slow down sometimes. And slow down doesn't always mean braking. Sometimes it just means letting go of the gas, uh, just to cruise for a little while. Yeah, it's important. Just try to remember that, guys. I want to take a quick break before we jump into speed limit. That's going to be a very tricky one. And then at the speed limit, I'm going to demonstrate some stuff on the highway, and then we're going to stop the video after that. Just give me 1 second. All right, guys. Here we go. Okay, speeding. Speed limits, aka speeding. Okay, so first up, I do want to say something about speeding. Not really the speed limit, but just like reckless speeding. I just want to say that the problem that we have on the road is that we prioritize getting somewhere fast versus getting somewhere safe. And I'm going to repeat that. On the road, the problem that we have is that we prioritize getting somewhere fast versus getting somewhere safe. And honestly, I think a lot of drivers can relate to that. Once again, people are speeding to get to where they need to go, and we're not really thinking about getting somewhere safe. We're thinking about getting somewhere fast. We're trying to beat the clock. We're trying to make up for time that we may have lost, waking up late or getting up late. Uh, yeah, that is honestly one of the biggest problems on the roadways. In my honest opinion, not statistics, just my honest opinion. Uh, Everyone rushing to get to where they're trying to go at from point A to point B. Yeah, they're not really thinking about getting to point B safe. No, they're thinking about getting there fast and trying to beat the clock, trying to save a minute or 2 minutes. I'm going to say something about reckless speeding. I do not support it. It is so wrong. And if you live in an area where you have like a bunch of traffic lights, you would have to pass like a bunch of red lights to even save any time. When you're speeding for the most part to get to where you're going at, you're not really saving that much time, and you might feel like you are, but you're truly not saving that much time when you're speeding to get to point B from point A. And what's crazy? You might like, as far as people who speed, they try to defend themselves by just trying to make some kind of excuse to advocate for speeding, and it's a bunch of bull. I mean, honestly, it's a bunch of bull. You cannot support or defend reckless speeding. Like, you can say anything to me. I mean, is no, it's nothing you can say to defend it. Um, Yeah, for the most part, like I said, if you live in an area specifically that has like a bunch of traffic lights, you might feel like you're making and saving time, but you're truly not. You would have to pass, like I said, you would have to pass like every red light to really save time. Uh, Even on the highways, if you want to speed on the highways, do your thing. But honestly, it's best to plan ahead, because when you're going out into traffic, you have um, you have to remember that we have construction going on the roadways. We might have accidents, so we should be planning ahead anyway because of those things. You never know what you're going to run into when you leave out to go to where you're going at. So it's always important to plan ahead anyway. Um, yeah. So let's see. Speed limits. The problem. Nope. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So this is the maximum speed allowed on different kinds of roadways. That's the definition of speed limit. So the speed limit is the maximum speed. A lot of people don't really care about that. They like, no, I'm gonna do 10 over. Once again, it's your car, it's your vehicle. Make your call. Uh, okay. Next up, we have. It is very, very crucial to observe it to ensure safety. It is very, very crucial to observe it to ensure safety. So as far as the speed limit, once again, if I'm on the highway and I see that the speed limit is 60 miles per hour, that should be the max speed that I'm going. And once again, we do not see that on the roadways. We have people doing 100, 105, and 60, and they think because they see it on TV, because they see it in the video game, think it's so cool. The thing about the video game and the movies is that's why it's called the video game, and that's why it's called a movie because it's not real life. Real life is different. But a lot of people can't separate video game, movie, and real life. They can't really separate it. That's the problem that we have on the highways. People are going way too fast, man. I mean, I've seen people doing like maybe 110, 100, 115 in a 55. I mean, like I said, I've been driving for 10 years. I've seen all kinds of stuff, and like I said, you might think it sounds cool now, but you crash, and once again, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. One thing about video games is you can always restart and pick up from where you left off at after you got taken out. That's not how the real world works. It doesn't work like that, man. It's very important that we are following speed limits and just being safe on the roads, man. Honestly, if the speed limit is 55, oh, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm doing about 60 miles per hour. That's okay. 60, I think is okay. 60. I mean, if you're in the left lane, maybe 65 or something. I guess. I don't really advocate speeding, but I guess if you're trying to really get to somewhere, I get it. But I think 80 and 85 and the 55 is just like I don't know. That's crazy to me. I don't know. And people call me slow. That's fine. You can call me slow. Um, but I would love to get to where I'm going at safely. And for the most part, people go around me when I'm driving because I'm usually driving about the speed limit, and I'm okay with that. I mean, honestly, I'm at a point now where I'm used to people going around me, so I don't really care. Once again, it's your car, it's your call, so it's fine. But we have normalized speeding so much that we see it all the time, and yeah, it just feels like it's natural. I mean, it's not natural at all. Uh, okay, so why is obeying the speed limit so important? I'm gonna tell you why. Obeying the speed limit minimizes the risk of accidents. It also ensures a much smoother flow of traffic too. Another reason following the speed limit helps all drivers react safely to unexpected situations on the road. Also lowers the severity of crashes if one was to occur. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's why obeying the speed limit is important. Uh, like I said, some of us have fast cars like Chargers and Hellcats and stuff like that. Once again, you might think it's cool to show off and do 80 and a 40 or do 100 and a 55. You might think it's cool, but I'm trying to tell you, at the least time you expect it, something bad's going to happen, and I don't want it to happen to you. But honestly, if you're still doing those things, what do what do you really expect to happen? I want everyone on the roadways to be safe, and I'm doing this video because I wanted to do it. Like no one told me to to do this. I felt like I had to do it because I really believe that we can do better on the roadways. I feel like we can all come together and just be a bit more safer on the roadways. I don't expect this video to get like a million views or something like that. Like I said, I felt like I had to do it. I'm just a messenger, sending out a message. I didn't have to do this. I just wanted to dedicate this day uh, to traffic awareness for August. For school's coming back soon, and usually around school time is when like a lot of accidents happen around the school zones, which are crazy because school zones are like 25 miles per hour, but people aren't doing that. But yeah, and before I stop the video, I do want to say something really quick about car accidents. Listen, I didn't really talk about car accidents in this video. Uh, I've mentioned accidents, but I didn't really get into detail about some stuff. So I do have a personal story I want to tell you guys. A while ago, got into a car accident. I was driving. It wasn't my fault. The driver hit me, but I was driving through an intersection. The car had a stop sign, and the car ran the stop sign, and they ended up hitting my vehicle, and it put me on the sidewalk. And I mean, it spun my vehicle all the way around. It had me on the sidewalk, and I was shaken up for a while after that. And I mean, I went right back to driving like the day after because I mean, I didn't really have a choice. Um, but guys, we had to pay attention when we're on the roadways. We had to pay attention. And the crazy thing about it is I was already going to do this video, but after that happened, I really wanted to come on here and talk about traffic awareness and safety. Um, Another story that I have is without getting into too much detail about the person. I met this lady a while ago. She had gotten into like 3 or 4 accidents in her lifetime so far, and like there are parts of her body that aren't parts of her body. Like when I say that, I mean that she's gotten so many surgeries because of accidents that parts of her body are just like metal pieces or plates. Like man, it's really sad to hear stuff like that. But we always, once again, we always just speed and just speed. But you have to think about accidents and like how it really affects people. My wife was in a car accident about 10 years ago, and it still affects her to this day. And the thing about it is when we're driving, when we're speeding, we're not thinking about accidents. We're thinking about speeding, showing off, getting to our point B without really thinking about any consequences. Guys, accidents are very mentally and physically draining. I've been through it myself personally twice in my lifetime so far, and you don't want to go through it. It's a terrible experience. You do not want to go through the pain of being in an accident. Seriously, please take your time on the roadways. Uh, if you guys can just share the video maybe to get it out, that's fine. I don't mind if you want to download the video and share it. I really don't mind. You can do that. Once again, I don't really expect this video to get out there like that, but I really wanted to come on and dedicate this day to talk about traffic awareness and talk about some things that we can do on the roadways to make things better for everyone. Um, I am going to be dedicating my Instagram page and my TikTok page this month, and Facebook probably. I'm going to be uploading clips from this video that I just did to TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook all month for August, just to show more support for traffic awareness. I feel like we can all support it and we can all do better on the roadways. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for stopping by and watching the video. This is not a live stream. This video is going to be posted on my YouTube as a premiere. So this is all pre-recorded. Um, yeah, I hope everyone is doing well, and I'll see you guys in my next live stream very soon. And everyone, please, once again, please be safe on the roadways. Before I completely stop, I do want to show you guys something really quick. I want to get on the highway, and I do want to show you guys some things that you can do on the highway to be a bit more safe. So let me go ahead and do that really quick. Let me go to my map. Okay, so we have the highway here. Let's go to this highway here. No, wait, let's go to this one. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera off, actually. Let me just turn it off really quick. There we go. Okay, so yeah, really quick, I'm going to show you guys some stuff on the highway that we can do to be a bit more safe. Let's see. Okay, so now we are approaching the highway. Here we go. Okay, so this is the highway here. I'm driving. Okay, so the highway starts here. Okay, so the speed limit is 45. Let's go ahead and do that. 40. Okay, so we're cruising at 45. So we're doing the speed limit. So for the most part, if you're on a highway, if you're doing about the speed limit, always try to remain in the right-hand lane. You do get faster traffic on your left side, so always remember that. Stay in your right lane if you're going to do the speed limit. Okay, the speed limit changed to 55 now. Let's move up a little bit. 55. There we go. We're doing 55. We're in the right lane. If you ever enter a tunnel, for the most part, you're going to see something saying stay in your lane. And that's because if an accident happens in the tunnel, the whole tunnel is going to probably be shut down. So whenever you're in a tunnel like this, always remember to stay in your lane. It's very important. Okay, so the proper way to signal, right? So I see that traffic in front of me is moving a bit slower than I am. I'm going to signal now to get over in my left lane because I'm moving at 55, but they're moving probably at like 50 or 45 probably. So I'm going to look over in my left lane. The car is far back. I'm going to get over in this lane. There we go. I'm doing 55. I'm doing 55. So I'm going to try to exit off this highway really quick. So whenever you exit a highway, this is called the deceleration ramp. You're slowing down. You're slowing down on this part right here. This part right here is not the highway anymore. This is a ramp. Once again, if you're exiting, you should be slowing down. As you guys can see, the speed limit here is 40, not 55 anymore because we're on the ramp, not on the highway. And once again, if you ever exit in a highway, the ramp is called deceleration. If you're entering a highway, the ramp is called acceleration. Okay, so now we're approaching the highway now. So we should be speeding up just a little bit now. So, okay, right here, we should be speeding up just... Okay, we have a turn. We should slow down. Okay, here we go. So now we should be moving. We're going to signal to get over. So the speed limit now is 65 miles per hour. So we're doing 65. Look, we're in the right lane. We're doing the speed limit. This is how you want to do it. Just like this. 65. We're cruising. We're cruising. We are cruising. I want to signal to exit off the highway. We have a way station. Look, this is called the deceleration ramp. We're slowing down to get off the highway. You have to slow down, guys. Slow down to get off the highway. Okay, let's pull over here. Alright, here we go. Look at that. We made it to point B without any crashes or anything because we drove safe. We followed the speed limit. Get out the car. We drove safe. We followed the speed limit. We made it to point B very safe because we followed traffic laws. As simple as that. One more thing I want to say too is if you're ever in a parking lot where like there's a market, please do not cut through the parking lot lines and speed through. Always slow down in areas like that. Always slow down when you're in a residential area. And yeah, like in spots like that, you want to be doing about maybe 20, 15. As far as as far as a shopping center, I would kind of suggest like 15 miles per hour, maybe 20, but 15 if anything. And if you're in a residential area with a bunch of houses, usually the speed limit is about 25. But always try to... Oh, crap. What'd I do? Oh, I think I pressed something. Hold on real quick, guys. I don't know what I did. I pressed something. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me, but yeah, whenever you're in a shopping area, always try to slow down. And when you're in a residential area, always try to slow down. And yeah, just remember that when you're on the roadways. And one more thing I want to say before I stop the video is, whenever you're driving, always try to catch the speed limit to see what the speed limit is. It's important to know what the speed limit is, um, because you don't want to be speeding in any area. So yeah, so it's always important to know your speed limit when you're out and driving. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the video here. Please, everyone, be safe on the roadways. And like I said, if you watched the video all the way through, thank you. Uh, and once again, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. I wanted to be a bit more serious in this video, so I wasn't really like my normal self. I just wanted to keep it kind of serious, because this is a very serious topic. Um, yeah, guys, peace out, and I'll catch you in the next video. And traffic awareness, remember it when we're on the road all the times. Traffic awareness. All right, guys.
Your shift is over, officer.